Today we talk about liquor dispensing system. That it's a pretty interesting argument. And I explain you how Java allowed us to make a new development, new features on such kind of products. This product has been designed in collaboration with Wunderbar. Wunderbar is one of the, I think, one of the most popular brands for the dispensing guns. They are very popular for dispensing, for liquor and food dispensing, and they are based in California. And it's very interesting to go through what is the potential market of such kind of products. Food and service and hospitality industry is a huge industry. Some numbers are $23 billion of revenues for 70,000 points of business. So it can include hotels, resorts, restaurants, bars, nightclubs, whatever. We have some numbers. So we have what we call bars. So it's the 20.4%. Taverns, cocktail and lounges, nightclubs, disco, etc. How many points of business, there are in the United States? This is only in the United States. And the revenues. So it's a huge market, and this market has to deal with some problems when they're dispensing alcohol. So what is a liquor dispensing system? A liquor dispensing system is provide a solution to increase the return of investment, recording and controlling liquor's pour, eliminating overpouring, making dispensing fast and easy for bartenders, and giving to managers the control of the process. So what's going on? So why it's time to innovate in this field? Most of the liquor dispensing systems that are nowadays in the market are built on a very conservative and old-fashioned technologies and artifacts. Most of them are based on wire guns. They can manage only a limited number of brands, so bottled in the bar. They have a very basic and limited business logic into their embedded system. The hardware, most of the time, is tailored, is dedicated hardware, so it's no standards. So you are slave and stuck with one vendor. And if you want to move to another, you have to change everything. As well, the software technology they implement are very old. Think about MS-DOS applications already present today in some products. They cost around probably $5,000, $10,000. It depends on how you use the place. But this is the kind of technology that the owner or the manager has to deal with. And there is no standard. If you want to make some kind of integration, there is no way to do that. So if your vendor produce this kind of additional hardware, you can match and expand the system. If not, you have to change completely the product. Some examples, all right, just to give you some visual feedback. We have some weird devices. So there is a dispensing unit, for example, here, and then you have some kind of control. And I expected in the background to have a room like that where all the bottles are, and every liquor dispense over streamlines. I don't know what the right word to use, to the final dispenser that is in front of the bartender. So we have a hidden area where all the bottles are stored. This is a more classical design. So we have this is the liquid dispensing system. So this is the hardware, the embedded hardware, and we have a gun. So we have the same architectures as here. So we have somewhere we have the beverage, and we dispense from one gun. This is another example. This is a wired system. You can so it's a wired spout. You put the spout on a bottle, and you control very simply, okay, the process to 3-button interface. And this is another example. Okay, probably is a little bit dark, but it's very simple to this one. Okay, it's very popular here. So you have only one dispensing unit with a software, okay, and a dedicated LCD to interact with the operations. So what is CloudFlow? CloudFlow is an innovative Wi-Fi-based liquid dispensing system for the next generation of the smart bars. So we talk about smart cities, everything is smart. Why is a bar cannot be smart? This is the way. So CloudFlow, so it's the CloudFlow, the goal is to be a standard. Offer to customers a standard way to deal with such kind of requirements. So we implement a Freescale i.MX 28 ARM SoC. So we design a board around this SoC. We use wireless spouts and beer flow meters. So we are able to manage bottles and beer coming from the big can that you have probably stored somewhere. We use Java SE7 embedded with a headless version, so we don't need any LCD. Okay, the system is a headless system. We have an internal DB. Right now we are using BDB, Berkeley DB from Oracle. So it's a full Oracle, okay, system. We can manage serial POS communication featuring 9 different legacy protocols for front of the house operation. Okay, today, each liquid dispensing system in the market has limited POS protocols available. So how many vendors are present for POS system? Probably 20, 25, 30, and they implement a different protocol each as a different protocol. But there are 9 protocols that most of all they implement. So with those 9 protocols, we cover, I think, the 89, 90% of the POS on the market. We implement a web-based management interface based on a lightweight Java application server. So we manage the business logic and the presentation in a very, well-known way. Everyone deal with routers or stuff like that. This is the same. Is the same way how to manage the user interface. We can manage standard REST and stateful application interfaces that enables, for example, and we see later in a slide, to enable advanced back-of-the-house operations or cloud integration with third-party services. Why not? We can gather this kind of data and do some kind of business intelligence, for example. The value of the beverage poor activities, I think it's a very huge business. If you can manage, or if you can say in which period of the year people consumes different kinds of alcoholic, is a high value information. And finally, we provide a Java reporting software. So basic, some very simple templates to help the user to have a very quick reporting activities. Right. So this is the unit, what we call the CloudFlow unit. So it looks like a router, all right, but the system uses the RF communication. So it's on the RF band for Europe and the United States. So it's very simple if you think about the old system that I show you, and can be placed wherever. It's a nice looking, and it's based on a very modern way to design embedded hardware. So how CloudFlow help the business? Okay, how we make money with CloudFlow? We provide real-time sales. We ensure product consistency with quick and precise dispensing, and this is a very critical action, okay, a critical feature. It's very important for owners and managers. Every drink pour is accounted controlling the costs, because so I know exactly what I'm consuming from my inventory. Liquor and beer inventory are secure, so the situation is under control, basically. So I can cut the liquor purchases because I don't waste. This is the point. I don't waste, and everything is perfectly controlled by the system. And more, I can expand my point of business, okay, wireless, because as we see, the system is so simple that I can expand, simply adding devices on the field. How CloudFlow make the manager saving money? For example, 1/4 ounce of overpour on a shot increased the cost by 25%. This is a standard data. It's a pain for every manager. We can compare what has been sold with what has been poured right now. It's rational, so we can count. We can integrate CloudFlow with third-party POS systems, as I told you before. And it's very important. There is a bad news for the bartender. It eliminates giveaways and tips. You know how many bartenders having higher tips say, okay, take a drink more, or I can give you a little bit more. And it's very easy to maintain this. Okay, why Java? My company comes from 15 years of Java development. So we are very happy to use the same technology we use for web application or thick application now into the embedded. So we can reuse many things of our code. And so we can prototyping very fast. We can reuse the code we previously used. Now Java SE 7 is absolutely production ready. So it's a standard. I can integrate different kind of frameworks and platform. I can use many DB technology. I have a huge numbers of library and products to make reports, to manage RESTful or REST communications, stateful communication. Is secure because, okay, I use the servlets engine for making the business logic. And we decide to use GWT to manage a good-looking web interface. So it's like a small dream to have all this stuff right now on an embedded device. Okay, I give you some definition right now just to be more clear in the next slides. So field devices are what we call field devices are wireless pouts and wireless beer flow monitors. What we call CFU is the CloudFlow Unit is the box that you saw before. Then we have a PC, that can be used as a data aggregator from one or more CFU, because if I have a huge place, probably I need to cover many different areas using more than one CFU. Okay, the BI, a bar is a logical collection of field devices. So I have a one point of business that is the physical place where drinks are sold, and I can, group numbers of wireless pouch or beer flow and create what I call a bar. So I can have many bars inside a point of business. Okay, what is a point of sale? A point of sale is, what we call the POS. So it's the terminal of the operations where I have my receipt from the bartender. We have the cash register. So the point of sale is, something that is very most like a computer system right now. So I want to separate what is a point of sale, okay, because it's a little bit confusing, and what is an electronic cash register. That is something a little bit more old style, okay, more 80. And finally, I want to define what is the NLU. The NLU, it's a number, it's an identification code for every beverage or every brand, or better, each size of a liquor, of a brand, okay, that is a number that my CloudFlow unit communicates, transferred to the cash register to say this item costs $2. So it's an identification number. So how it works? We have wireless pouch and wireless beer monitor. So I can simply put this pouch on a bottle, and I put this beer monitor where the beer flow comes. Okay, so it counts how many pools of a flowing fluid, okay, is passing through this device. Then totally wireless, I communicate what is going on. So how many, these kind of spouts manage 4 sizes. So before dispensing, I can select one of 4 sizes and make it simply the action like that. Obviously, I can have for each brand 4 sizes. So I can have small vodka, medium vodka, bigger vodka, very big vodka. Everything can be configured. So you can decide what is the size of the liquor, the volume of the fluid you want to dispense for each size. Then we communicate with the CloudFlow unit, and then we can do many things. So we can export, for example, it's a very simple action, but bartenders or managers in this kind of business, they are pretty conservative. So they want, can I have a USB and export in some kind of format all my dispensing data? Yes, okay. You can export in a simple CSV format. It's a text format, and if you want to import it into Excel or whatever, that's okay. Then I can communicate the NLU number to a cash register or a point of sale system. We manage 9 different protocols, so we can cover here a lot of different vendors. Micros, Infogenesis, Aloha, Casio, Samsung. And this is typically a serial communication. We can export, for example, in the reporting tool that we provide, we can export the data to make scheduled report every 2 hours, every whatever. It's up to the user. In the same time, because of the, here we have 32 gig of SD card storage capability. So I have a circular buffering way to store the data. So when the spaces, I have no more spaces on the card, I need to finalize somewhere else everything I collected. If not, okay, I will start to delete the oldest one. So it's up to the manager try to figure out sometimes to make some kind of transfer, data transfer from the unit to a PC, for example, and gather a story and collect a story, 2 years story, 1 year story is up to the user. And then with the same technology, because here I can make, for example, RESTful services, I can provide those kind of data even to a third-party cloud platform to bring those kind of information and makes some kind of work. So wireless and some kind of logic over there in, with different kind of use cases. I told you before that I want to expand my point of business. Okay, I need only to increment the number of spouts or the number of beer flow and to configure the system in a way to manage new devices. But it's I can assure you, it's very simple. So what are the goals of CloudFlow? Track the quantity of poured liquors, track the quantity of the poured beers, manage brands and price. So inside the DB, right, in the embedded DB, I have all the price, all the sizes, all the brands, I have everything. I need to finalize the data are finalized into the DB. It's a serious, it's a Berkeley DB, so it's not such kind of, DB just for a temporary data storage. No, the only thing that you have to remember is you have 32 gig. We can manage price list, happy hours. We can manage up to 15 different price lists. So I can decide from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. to make a certain price list and then change from, I want to make an happy hour for 2 hours or 3 hours, I change another price list. So I can schedule up to 15 different price lists in a day. There are standard communication with POS system. I can export data or in a very simple format on a USB pen, USB drive, or on a application or in the web. Just for definition, front of the house operation for a bar is something that happens in front of the customer. So, I pour a drink, CloudFlow send the NLU number to the POS, I print the receipt, and I give to the customer and get the cash. This is the front of the house operations. Back of the house is a new concept in the bars and in the food industry. During the 90s, bars wants to control inventory reports, accounting, completely integrated with waitress and waiter that has portable devices. So back of the house is like something that is in the back and that control of the life cycle of a point of business. So we can manage inventory, reports, accounting. So it's more like a B2B application. The point is that now modern systems like Micros or Infogenesis, they sell as name it as POS, something that is very complex. They are really computer systems. So you have a Windows server, terminals, Ethernet connections, and you have software. Expensive, but it's a full-feature software. You can control everything, even the cloud. Micros, if you buy the higher, there is a kind of license. And so if you buy the most expensive product they have, they provide you the cloud platform. If you have many points of business, like I'm McDonald's, I have thousands, and I'm using the same POS, and I want my managers, for example, the country managers or the state managers to look at different point of business and see how how things are going. They provide you the cloud platform integrated with the POS they sell you. So everything is moving, okay, but every one of these vendors are completely, you know, if you buy Micros, you will be a Micros guy for the rest of your life. This is the concept. So back of the house integration is something that is very important for us to manage. So a simple scenario is like that: spouts, beer flow, wireless communication, serial communication to the cash register for front of the house operation. I store all my dispensing data in the unit, and then I can make reports every day from a local PC using a basic Java application. The thing is not the application itself, because the point is that the services that the CloudFlow units provide are standard services, web services, okay, or yeah, socket connection if we need to be stateful. A more complex scenario, for example, for a casino in a 4-floor, different floor could be many CFU, many point of sale, many spouts, and many beer flow. We have a switch. We can have a back of the house POS, and for example, the idea was to, we don't need to provide, be integrated with such kind of system could be very difficult. So our idea is to provide to the big vendor simple API based on web services. For example, I want Micros to take dispensing data and put inside their system. Many of those systems make reports, make everything. So I don't need to reinvent the wheel on my system. I have only to be integrated. We need to communicate, to share, not to make the same things again. So my point is that if those systems, back of the house systems, are so complex, so expensive, so everything, you do the job. I provide you what is my value proposition: dispensing data. And obviously, if you have some business intelligence or product and you want to make some kind of data mining with the same services, REST services that I use in a local network, I can send the same information to a remote service. Okay, basically there are 4 different actors: the barman, the bartender, the service operator who installed the system, the bar manager, and eventually an enterprise manager. So it's nothing, everything is very simple. So we have basically in the same slide here, I introduced the actors. So the bartender is simply pouring, he simple pour liquors or beers in the front of the house operation. The bar manager is managing the reports every day, or eventually the back half of the operation, and the enterprise manager take care about what's going on in a big area. Okay, so this is a basic idea of my idea of a product, like a product has to be. So I have the hardware, I have the firmware, an operating system, a framework, and finally an application, and services. So in the keynote before, the Freescale guy say, okay, we have hardware, software, and services, and this is exactly the model we want to follow when we think about a product. So we have hardware, the i.MX 28 single board computer. We have a Linux kernel, we have a Linux operating system, we have Java SE7, GWT, a server container, a Berkeley DB. We use the native communication from C++ and Java for manage the all the messages coming from the spouts is a message queue technology, very simple. And finally, I have the application. So my web application on the device that manage all the business logic and all the user actions for configure and to manage the data on the CloudFlow system. And finally, I can add the REST services to make, you remember this slide, to make something in this area. It's not mandatory. You want to use the product locally, do that. You want to use some cloud third-party product, do that. Okay, just a quick look of a board. The board is a general, this is the new design that SI14, that is our partner for the hardware, they designed based on the i.MX 28. So they produce an i.MX 28 single board computer, and this was the chance to redesign and have a second generation i.MX 28 single board computer, but you know, with many other features. So for example, we have a ZigBee expansion module we don't use on CloudFlow, but it's ready. Or, sorry, we have SPI aux port. We have a E2C aux ports. Okay, we have the obviously the where is the, okay, here, the 868 and 9 for Europe, and 915 megahertz radio communication for United States. So it's for the wireless, we use for the wireless pouts, but in many home gateway, we use these kind of signals for alarms. Micro SD, 2 Ethernet ports, 1 RS-232 DIN port. So everything is a standard. You know, this is a single board computer for a general purpose. We use for CloudFlow, but this is basically very cheap embedded hardware based on MX28. These are the features. So 128 megabyte of RAM, 128 megabyte of NAND memory, where we have the operating system, USB client and host, 2 Ethernet, 2 low transceivers for 868 and 915 megahertz low power wireless applications, serial port. Okay, we have some 3 general purpose tactile switch, E2C, ZigBee, power supply, a buzzer, and a Lion battery. Yeah, because if something goes on, something goes bad with the power of the bar, we can shut down the system and finalize the data safely. Okay, so we have the chance to plug in optional modules like Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, or audio coder and amplifier. So it's a pluggable board. It's a very nice board. This is the board. We have some delays on the shipment, so probably I will receive today and tomorrow in the Oracle booth. You have the chance to see the board if you want. So this is the board. This is the product, okay, the 2 antenna and the box. This is only to show you that the application is, you know, a standard Java application inside CloudFlow. This is inside CloudFlow, inside the box. What is running inside the embedded device? We have a web application, so servlet container and presentation layer using GWT. We have we have the DB as a Berkeley DB, an operating system that is Linux. We have this layer that is the Java native interface layer to make the connection between the low-level inter-process communication to manage the spouts, you know, data coming from wireless, and so manage this kind of message queue and have a kind of message handler that can take all those information and write on a DB, for example. So we have web technology, native technology, Java standard technology. Okay, here we manage some operating system configuration like the network, gateways, and stuff like that. An NTP server, because if we have one of more CloudFlow unit, we need to be synchronized the same time, same hour, so same time zones, same everything. So we have some OS configuration that has to be managed as a standard unit configuration. So finally, this is possible, very quick and very safe from a developer standpoint with Java embedded. You can use Qt, you can use different kind of frameworks, but basically we needed to rewrite the code in a different standard, in different languages, okay? Here we can use most of our library and our expertise to speed up a prototype in 4 months. 4 months. So why Java is a turnkey for technology for CloudFlow? So developers are focused on the application layer only. So when the hardware company provide me the piece of iron, I'm on track. I'm perfect. I can start to work. I have a high level of, using Java, I have a high level of abstraction, and so I can produce a quality, a design, a very good design, and a very high quality on the code. If I design good, I code good as well. Security, fast prototyping, modularity. New features can be easily integrated. If I want to change something or add a new feature, Java gives me a chance to do that very quick. I have a consolidated development tools, so I can use my NetBeans or Eclipse tool for making embedded stuff. I run JUnit. I have many different kind of tools for testing and validating. Many proprietary solutions were present in the past, but right now we can use the same open source or whatever things we use for web or desktop application. And obviously a multi-platform development. For example, if you need a client to make reports, can run on Linux, Windows. I don't care about the operating system of the host PC. Why Java improved the CloudFlow business? So, scalability. I can, improve the value of the get-read data with many JEE-based products already, cloud ready. They are ready. I do not to make other work. So integration, third parties can easily integrate their product using a multi-platform technology. Think about micros. If I say, hey, if CloudFlow starts to be a successful product and Micros or InfoGenesis wants to use my data for their POS back of the house system, I simply say, okay, I have a couple of web services. Call it, and you will have my product list, my price lists, my schedules, my costs. And you can do whatever. So you can expand your site. But what they, right now, actually, they don't manage such kind of data. Okay, everything is on the, the orders or the action performed by the bartenders or waitress, but nothing regarding what is poured on the bar. Then we have unification. So embedded desktop enterprise with the same core technology. These are incredible things. And standardization. So one platform for different domains. This is a key point. In my opinion, this is one of the key points. So if you have any question, I hope to I gave you an idea of what the product, what kind of product we developed. I think that distributors are excited about that. They're waiting for a product like that because it's very easy to sell. It's very easy to install. It's basically it can offer basic functionalities, or for a person that, or for a manager that is more close to complex system, he can deal with them as well. So the use cases, I have to be honest, during the development were not so easy to identify because people from Wunderbar, they are very, conservative as well, because they sell, the dispensing for beverage, or, the things like ketchup or mayonnaise. So they have to be very tough system, very, solid, reliable. But now that the market is changing, the requirements are changing, so they are very proactive to look at what can be done to be updated and try to be innovators on a field that, believe me, it's very difficult to, to manage innovation in a place like, you go in a bar in Texas, in the middle of the desert, and try to sell a CloudFlow. You say, hey, I don't need a CloudFlow. But probably if you say, okay, but do you know how much money do you waste when you have, some moment where you have a lot of customers, and it's something that I think the owner, he doesn't think that he's lost. He's losing money. Many times he don't know. But now the perception is different. You have numbers and say, oh, wow, I waste 10 gallons of vodka. For what? Where are they? Now probably it's possible to have some kind of feedback.
Excuse me, I have a question. Do you have a special reason to use Opry database in your product?
Yes. We tried 3 different technologies. We tried Hypersonic, SQLite, and Berkeley DB. Berkeley DB, from a developer standpoint, is a API-based DB, so it's very easy to develop with. But in the same time, I saw the last benchmark test. We have a footprint very low memory. I have a very few memory footprint, so we need to be fast, but a little bit agile. So Berkeley DB, if you don't have a persistent engine in the middle that give you an object-oriented way to deal with the database, Berkeley DB has an interface absolutely amazing to manage an object-oriented DB without a persistent engine in the middle. So database, application, persistent engine. We have no memory for manage things like Hibernate. It's too much. So we need a database with strong API, very simple and strong API, and very fast. So this is why we use Berkeley DB. And the license is, you can deal with Oracle and have a good price for the license. Yeah.
New selling process, when you're talking to bartenders, bar stores, are you able to use Java as a selling point to differentiate your product? Because in the consumer space today, people that use Android, that has a positive connotation to it. Do you find that same type of thing with Java?
It's a good question, this. Well, the perception of the final customer about Java or not Java is transparent. They don't. The Java is effective on the final price. So if you spend less resources to develop the product and maintain the product, the price is lower. And the price in this kind of market has to be competitive. If you have a killer price, you have a killer application. you know what. So we have new features, yes. These features are possible with Java, yes. But many, I think that in the 2013, when the product will be launched, I think that the basic use cases is, okay, I want my database in my USB pen. So the final customer will not take advantage of all that new features, okay, ecosystem that CloudFlow is providing. But the price is probably 1/3 of the competitors. So now Java is a key point for the final price, and even Freescale. We have a full, single board computing platform for an incredible price. So this is I think that probably when we have the second version or we develop other stuff, probably in 1 year, the market could be more, open to new kind of innovation, and so start to use, okay, I have Hyperion or I have Pentao, I want to make some kind of strange reports, but I think that only the market will decide that. Yes, no, we know. Yeah, we know. We know, and so we control, if you finish the liquor on a bottle, you need to change the bottle. And the spout remember what he was pouring before. And there is a certain lapse of time that has for changing. When you don't change in this interval of time, something bad happens. It's not important what is the consequence, but it's important to log these kind of operations. Because the bar manager or the owner right now is like a black hole. It's a sandbox. What's going on in the front of the house operation, they see from the cash register at night when they close. Now they can control even in a kind of timeline when things happen. So free vodka for everyone. Thank you. Thank you very much.